Hi butterflies, welcome to my garden. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And now let's get into the video. Hi everybody, it's your girl Calypso, and I am back again. I'm back, I'm back, I'm back again, I'm back again, I'm back again. I will never get tired of that. Oh my god, that's pure gold right there. This angle. So, hi everybody, it's your girl Calypso, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can always be notified every time I upload a new video. And leave a comment in the comment section. Just let me know where you're from or something, or what you think of my presentation. So, piggybacking off of this series that I've been doing about trans pioneers and trans people through history, I'm coming with a little, knowledgeable video about I'm just going to talk about 7 things about transgender people that you probably didn't know. So if you're open-minded and you're willing to learn, stick with me to the end of the video and you might learn something, or maybe something you already know. Regardless, this is always a learning experience for me. So enjoy. Issues facing transgender and non-binary communities have recently received, well, not recently, but lately that seems to be the case. We've gotten greater attention from the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghosts, also known as the public, policymakers, and government officials. We've actually been around for centuries in cultures and history as early as 5000 BC. Today, we exist in societies and cultures across the globe. I'm going to break it down and give examples of how we've existed through history. Inanna was an ancient Mesopotamian or Sumerian goddess associated with love, beauty, sex, war, justice, and political power. So she's like the Greek equivalent of the goddess Aphrodite and Athena, and she had priests that were dedicated and devoted to her who were called the Gala. Now, the Gala or Gala priests were described as androgynous or trans priests of the goddess Inanna, and they spoke their own dialects, which was called Emesal. I'm probably butchering that word, but it was Emesal, which was a feminine dialect associated with the goddess. And in addition to that, they took on feminine names as well. So that's one of the earlier records of transgender identities or trans adjacent identities in ancient times. Keep in mind, this was around 5000 to 3000 BC. Now, in modern times, the faith in Inanna has plummeted, and that religious practice is damn near defunct for several reasons, but this is not necessarily about the goddess. It's more about the trans identities that existed in that era, which is amazing. Now on to number 2. Sometime from 200 to 300 BC, this was during the height of the Greek mythology. In ancient Greece, there were some gods who were worshipped by galley priests who wore feminine attire, identified as women, and have therefore been identified by scholars as early transgender figures. They even went as far as self-mutilation, aka castration. So they were identified as cis men who felt the divine call, and many others were trans feminine people who recognized themselves in the priesthood and carried out self-castration in honor of the goddess or the god that they were worshiping, and it happened. And this was pretty extreme considering the era when there was no specific medical science about body mutilation, but they did it, and they were represented as objects of disgust in literature. Voluntary self-castration was not what a good Roman man did, but it happened, and this was one of the earlier examples of the fact that they existed. And afterwards, they dressed in women's clothing and presented as women for the rest of their lives. Now, on to lucky number 3. Saint Anastasia the Patrician. Now, Anastasia was a Byzantine courtier who became a later saint. She was a lady in waiting to the empress at the time, Theodora, and after a while she fled life in Constantinople, the capital of the Roman Empire. Now, when it comes to the reason for her fleeing, the word on the street is that Theodora's husband may have lusted over her, you know what I'm saying? And Theodora grew jealous of her, so she fled from Rome to Alexandria in Egypt, where she arrived at a place called Pempton near Alexandria, where she founded a monastery which would later be named after her. Now, Anastasia dwelt in seclusion for 28 years. Damn. She lived with the monastic discipline, aka became a monk, and dressed masculinely as a monk, and has become viewed by some scholars as transgender. Now, she became canonized on the 10th of March, which is also her feast day in the Catholic and Orthodox faith. She existed. Lucky number 4. In South Asia, at least 8 known gender-expansive identities have historically been present in the subcontinent, the most well-known being Hijra, third gender people of historical, spiritual, and cultural significance in South Asian society. So, the Hijra and these individuals of diverse gender identities have been well documented in religious and cultural texts and legends. These individuals often form intentional communities for community as well as survival. And I think that is admirable because there's a sense of unity, there's a sense of fellowship and camaraderie that they all form around each other, because it's not exactly the easiest society, so it's nice to have that fellowship of sisters, if you may, to get through the world. Number 5. Around the 18th century, the Ottomans of Siberia recognized a third gender called Koekchuth. I don't know how to pronounce that to save my life, so if anybody can help me, just let me know in the comment section. I just didn't want to butcher that word. Anyway, this term was used to describe individuals who were assigned male at birth, but however, these individuals expressed themselves as women and dressed the part, and they were widely documented and accepted by society even back then. Number 6. The oldest Western institute studying LGBT plus identities was started in Germany in 1919. Now that word that I'm not going to even try to attempt to pronounce, translated to English simply means the Institute for Sex Research. It's been said that this institute performed some of the earliest contemporary gender-affirming medical services, like the case of Dora Richer, who, I think I might do a breakdown on if there's any interest from you guys, so let me know. Anyway, this institute was eventually destroyed in the rise of the German fascism under the Nazi Party, and the resources and data at this institute was unfortunately never replaced or recovered. So yeah, in addition to the fact that we've been around, we've also had to deal with a lot of obstacles along the way. So this just lets us know that we are resilient. Now, last but not the least, In Turtle Island, which is an indigenous name for North America, indigenous communities use the term Two-Spirit as a modern pan-indigenous umbrella identifier for people of another societal and ceremonial gender identity. Now, this term was established in 1990 as a modern collective term for a historical gender identity describing individuals not considered men or women in most, if not all, indigenous cultures of the Turtle Island, also known as North America. So, I say this to say that the trans identities or non-binary gender identity is nothing new. So in conclusion, these things that I just shared today, they don't even begin to scratch the surface of the trans and non-binary communities' histories. So we are far from being a new phenomenon because transgender and non-binary people have existed for centuries among different cultures across the globe. So keep that in mind. So, thanks for sticking through that video. Hope you're able to learn something today. Look, the whole purpose of this is just to show that we've always been around. It's not a new thing, it's not a cool trend or something. We've always been around. We've existed through centuries, you know? You just, I guess, didn't know where to look or how to find us, and now we're just gaining more momentum where we're not as underground. So, this is just to show that it's not a new thing. We've been here, okay? And I hope you're able to learn something from that. So, in the meantime, I'll see you. In the meantime, thank you again, and I will see you real soon. So, protect your energy, everybody. Be kind, spread love, keep the peace, and take care of each other. So,